I'm the facilities manager, I'm the accountant, I'm the everything.
Joe pulled up in the Corvette, and it sounded okay to me. How'd it go? But I could tell by the look on Joe's face when they got out of the car and the fact that they popped the hood, we had problems.
Some people disappear quietly. No scandal, no dramatic farewell, just a nagging feeling of absence for fans. One season, they're on-screen welding steel, cracking jokes, and bringing dead machines roaring back to life. Next, their chair in the shop is empty. Their name is no longer rolling in the credits, and fans are left replaying old episodes, wondering when exactly the story changed. Amanda Martin wasn't just another cast member on Iron Resurrection. She was part of the rhythm of the flying sparks, rumbling engines and laughter bouncing off the walls. She helped turn rust into resurrection, and then, almost without explanation, she was gone. Join us as we roll up the garage door, flip on the lights, and take a closer look at where she went, why she left, and what the cameras didn't show when the engines stopped rolling.
You know, it's a show about Shag and I traveling around Texas, finding these really cool rusted out cars and dragging them back to the shop and seeing what the guys can do.
Iron Resurrection first premiered on Motor Trend in 2016. It was promoted as a reality series centered on Martin Bros Customs, a custom car and motorcycle shop based in Texas. The show follows shop owner Joe Martin and his team as they restore, modify, and fabricate vehicles for clients, often under tight deadlines and ambitious design goals. Over multiple seasons, the program developed a dedicated viewership, in part because of its focus on real craftsmanship and the family-run nature of the business. Amanda Martin was there from the start as a core figure in both the shop and the television series. On screen, she was regularly shown managing schedules, handling client communications, overseeing budgets, and coordinating projects. Off-screen, she held an equally significant role as co-owner of Martin Bros Customs. Her presence alone was immense. She was the administrative and business backbone of the operation, balancing the mechanical and creative work happening in the garage. After several seasons, Iron Resurrection went on a production hiatus. When the show returned with new episodes in 2024, viewers noted a shift in on-screen dynamics. She was still present, but appeared less frequently than in earlier seasons. This change led some fans to question whether she had left the show or the business. But before we talk about what really went on behind the scenes, let's get to know Amanda better and how she even got there in the first place. Early life and professional background. From what is publicly available about Amanda Martin, it's known that her professional life began far outside the automotive world. Before Martin Bros Customs became a recognized name in custom vehicle fabrication, she built her career in banking and office administration. These fields provided her with experience in financial management, customer service, scheduling, record-keeping, and organizational logistics. These skills would later become key to running a complex fabrication business. Specific details about her childhood, hometown, or family background have not been widely published in official media sources or network materials connected to Iron Resurrection. What we do know is that her early professional path was rooted in structured corporate and administrative environments rather than mechanical trades or creative fabrication. This background positioned her as a business-oriented partner when she and Joe Martin established Martin Bros Customs. When the couple launched the shop, their division of responsibilities reflected their respective strengths. Joe Martin focused on design, metal fabrication, mechanical engineering, and build execution. Amanda handled client intake, scheduling, project budgeting, vendor coordination, invoicing, and general business administration. This operational structure was in place before television production began and remained consistent once Iron Resurrection entered filming. This business foundation became especially important when the shop transitioned into a television-featured enterprise. As the show gained popularity, the Martins' business saw increased demand and visibility. This added complexity to operations as more clients sought custom builds influenced by the show's exposure. Her responsibilities, therefore, expanded to include higher volumes of client coordination, media inquiries, and scheduling around filming requirements. Her presence on camera often reflected these negotiations, providing viewers with insight into the business mechanics behind custom automotive production. Over successive seasons, her position remained consistent. Publicly available business records and interviews continue to list her as co-owner of Martin Bros Customs, confirming that her role was not limited to television participation. The show presented an edited version of real interactions, but her responsibilities, as depicted, were aligned with her actual duties. By the time the series reached later seasons, she had become a familiar and recognizable part of the show's structure. Her professional relationship with her husband formed one of the central working dynamics of Iron Resurrection. The success of Martin Bros Customs wasn't just built on Joe's ability to shape metal. It was built on the delicate balance of a visionary and integrator partnership. In the world of high-end fabrication, the visionary is often consumed by the creative process, sometimes losing track of man-hours or the soaring costs of rare components. She served as the integrator. Her background in the banking sector allowed her to act as the shop's financial guardrail. This dynamic is common in successful family-run restoration shops, but rarely shown with such clarity on television. Her presence provided a narrative anchor for the show. When a build went over budget or a deadline was missed, she wasn't just a spouse offering support, she was a business owner demanding accountability. For the viewer, this added a layer of stakes that went beyond whether a car would start. It was about whether the business would thrive. When her on-screen time decreased, the show lost this voice of the office, leaving a void where the business side tension used to live. Her role on Iron Resurrection also represented a significant shift in how women are portrayed in automotive media. Historically, reality TV centered on garages often relegated women to the background or cast them in roles that felt disconnected from the actual labor of the shop. She broke the mold. She was seen in the dirt, in the office, and in the negotiations. She spoke the language of invoices, paint codes, and engine specs with equal fluency. By occupying a space that was both professional and authentically Texas garage, she became a role model figure for a growing demographic of female automotive enthusiasts. Her reduced presence isn't just felt as a missing cast member, it's felt as a reduction in representation. Fans grew accustomed to seeing a woman who was a peer in a male-dominated industry, someone who owned the shop rather than just working in it. This was why her later reduced presence on screen felt off to the viewers, and many wondered what had happened behind the scenes. The show's hiatus and return. After several successful seasons, Iron Resurrection entered a production hiatus following its 7th season. The series, which had originally premiered on the Velocity Network in 2016 before moving under the Motor Trend brand, paused new episode releases for a multi-year period. During this time, Motor Trend did not announce the cancellation of the program, and Martin Bros Customs continued operating as a functioning business independent of television production. These periods where shows go off air for some time are not unusual for reality-based automotive series. Production schedules often depend on network programming strategies, filming logistics, the availability of build projects, and contractual negotiations. No official statements from Motor Trend or the Martins indicated internal disputes or business disruptions during this break. Public business listings and customer-facing communications confirmed that Martin Bros Customs remained open and active throughout the period without interruption. Then, in 2024, Iron Resurrection returned with newly produced episodes. The revived season maintained the same core format we were used to. They still took custom builds overseen by Joe Martin and his team, with project planning, fabrication, and client delivery forming the main script. The show's continuation confirmed that the partnership between Martin Bros Customs and Motor Trend remained intact. However, with the show's return, viewers noticed adjustments in editing style, episode pacing, and cast visibility. Such changes are common after production gaps, particularly when networks refresh format approaches or reorganize filming priorities. Within this updated presentation, Amanda Martin appeared less frequently on camera than in earlier seasons. There were no official announcements from Motor Trend, Joe Martin, or Amanda Martin stating that she had left the show, left the business, or altered her ownership role. Public records, permanent and verified profiles continued to list her as co-owner of Martin Bros Customs following the series' return. The only confirmed change was a reduction in her on-screen participation, not a departure from the company or the production. This situation started to pique viewers' curiosity because the business remained the same, the ownership remained the same, but the television scenes they were used to had changed. To understand why a cast member might pull back from the camera, one must understand the grueling nature of reality TV production. A single 42-minute episode of Iron Resurrection can take hundreds of hours to film across several weeks. For a working shop like Martin Bros Customs, having a film crew on site is a massive logistical hurdle. Lighting rigs, microphones, and reshooting scenes for better angles can slow down the actual work of restoring cars. It is highly probable that as Martin Bros Customs grew in fame, the administrative workload tripled. Amanda, as the primary business lead, likely had to choose between being on the show and actually running the company that the show is named after. In many cases, missing cast members are simply in the next room over, answering the hundreds of emails and parts sourcing calls that a hit television show generates. For her, the transition from cast member to executive behind the scenes may have been a necessary move to ensure the shop's survival beyond the lifespan of the television series. When familiar faces fade, reality TV cast changes and viewer speculation. Reality television succeeds by creating a sense of continuity. Viewers return not just for the projects, challenges, or competitions, but for the people. Over time, certain cast members become emotional anchors of a show's setting. In workshop-based series, each person fills a recognizable role, from the builder to the manager, the planner, the negotiator, and the voice of reason. When one of those familiar presences suddenly appears less often, audiences notice immediately. Across reality television history, this pattern has repeated itself many times, and in nearly every case, when a show does not directly explain a cast change on screen, viewers step in to fill the silence with speculation. Automotive and workshop shows offer some of the clearest examples. Series such as Fast and Loud, Overhaulin', American Chopper, Counting Cars, and Gold Rush built strong character identities. When cast members later reduced appearances, left production, or shifted to behind-the-scenes roles, fan forums and social media quickly filled with theories. In many cases, the real reasons were later confirmed to be simple things, such as business restructuring, filming schedule changes, contract adjustments, or personal time priorities. But before official explanations arrived, if they arrived at all, speculation flourished. The same situation has appeared in renovation and restoration programming. Long-running home makeover and flipping shows often evolve their cast structures quietly between seasons. When a familiar designer, manager, or co-host appears less frequently, online audiences commonly assume conflict or crisis, even when networks later clarify routine production decisions. Fishing, auction, and adventure-based reality series have experienced similar cycles. When a captain, crew member, bidder, or foreman reduces camera time, viewers accustomed to narrative continuity interpret the absence as storyline disruption. In reality, production editing simply adjusts focus to new projects, new cast contracts, or new pacing strategies. Media analysts have long noted that reality television creates a hybrid illusion where it presents real workplaces but arranges them into story arcs. When a character-like presence changes without narrative explanation, audiences respond emotionally, not administratively. They look for hidden reasons because reality shows train them to expect story-driven answers. This is the environment in which Amanda Martin's reduced screen time was received. For many viewers, she had become a stable fixture of Iron Resurrection, the operational counterweight to the fabrication team. When she appeared less often after the show's return, fans applied the same interpretive habits shaped by years of reality TV storytelling. If the show does not explain it, something must be wrong. Yet in many comparable reality series, later confirmed explanations have turned out to be simple off-camera choices, a cast member refocusing on business duties, family time, or non-filmed responsibilities. The pattern is industry-wide, not unique. The hidden cost of the spotlight between business and broadcast. One of the most overlooked factors in her transition away from the center of the frame is the inherent conflict between running a profitable fabrication shop and producing a hit television show. While viewers see a seamless blend of mechanical work and entertainment, the reality behind the scenes is often a tug-of-war for time and resources. For a co-owner like Amanda, the stakes of this conflict are remarkably high. In the early seasons of Iron Resurrection, the show was the primary marketing engine for the shop. Being on camera was a necessity to build the Martin Bros Customs brand. However, as a shop reaches legacy status, the television production can actually become a logistical bottleneck. In a standard restoration environment, a project moves at the speed of parts availability and technician labor. In a television environment, that same project must move at the speed of lightning setups, sound checks, and story beats. If a part arrives, but the film crew isn't scheduled until Tuesday, the car sits. For a business-minded leader like her, these delays represent lost revenue and frustrated clients. As the show's popularity exploded, the volume of inquiries likely shifted from local Texas enthusiasts to a global wait list. This creates a scale-up trap, handling thousands of build requests, vetting serious clients from tire kickers, and managing the soaring costs of raw materials, which have seen significant inflation since the show premiered in 2016, requires a full-time executive presence. Probably, her disappearance from the shop floor is actually a promotion into the deep infrastructure of the company. So while the speculations fit, what do we truly know of her current activities and lifestyle? Life outside the garage. While Iron Resurrection provides a window into the professional operations of Martin Bros Customs, far less of Amanda Martin's personal life has been presented publicly. What can be stated with certainty is that she and Joe Martin are married and jointly operate their business. Beyond that, Amanda has generally kept her private life outside the focus of the television series and mainstream media coverage. With some digging, publicly available information shows that she has, in recent years, devoted more time to activities outside of filming. This checks out with her reduced on-camera presence following the show's return in 2024. However, no official statements have detailed a specific reason for this shift, and no reports suggest any disruption in her family or professional life. The change is best described as a rebalancing of priorities rather than a documented event or departure. Her social media activities show that she maintains an ongoing interest in personal hobbies and home life alongside her business responsibilities. These posts primarily feature daily life moments, pets, and occasional shop-related updates. She has been public for animal rescue and shelter advocacy. This aspect of her life is one of the more consistently documented through her social media activity and public-facing accounts. She has shared posts supporting dog rescue organizations and animal shelters, including pit bull rescue efforts and local shelter initiatives. These activities are not presented through the television series, but are visible through her online presence, where she promotes adoption, responsible pet ownership, and support for rescue networks. While she has not launched a formally registered foundation under her name, her consistent public support for these causes is verifiable through archived social media records and interviews in lifestyle and entertainment biography profiles. This advocacy work represents a personal interest rather than a business initiative of Martin Bros Customs. It also provides insight into how she has chosen to use her public visibility gained from Iron Resurrection. Instead of expanding into celebrity branding or commercial endorsements, she has directed attention toward nonprofit and community-focused issues. Her animal advocacy presence has remained active even as her television appearances have become less frequent. This supports the broader observation that her reduced screen time does not represent a withdrawal from public engagement entirely, but rather a shift toward causes outside automotive entertainment media. There have been no reports of controversy or dispute related to her advocacy activities. The information available simply confirms ongoing involvement in promoting rescue efforts and shelter support through personal platforms. In the modern era of entertainment, a television screen is no longer the only way to maintain a public profile. She has mastered the art of the silent brand. While she has not released a formal statement regarding her reduced screen time, she has used her social media platforms to pivot the spotlight toward her personal passions, most notably her advocacy for animal welfare. By shifting her focus to rescue organizations and shelter support, she has effectively separated her identity from being Joe Martin's business partner and established herself as an independent advocate. This is a common evolution for reality stars who seek independent relevance. Rather than being tied to a network's production schedule, she has built a direct-to-fan pipeline. This allows her to support causes like pit bull rescue and local Texas shelters, utilizing the fame of Iron Resurrection as a tool for social good, rather than just commercial entertainment. This transition suggests that her absence isn't a departure, but rather an evolution into a role that offers more personal fulfillment than a scripted television arc. What are your thoughts on her shift? Tell us in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.